Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Lisa Dunn is in the house. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we celebrate every day. You got to love this one. Give me 1 second here. Phone for future reference, 800-306. Love that little transition over there. But here's you gotta love, I don't know where they come up with these things. There's a celebration for every day. We like to celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio, but National Paperclip Day? Not a chance. Where are we going with that one? And then I looked at the other one, and I'm not even sure of this one. And, you know, I am a bit of a foodie. National Coq au Vin Day. It's a French braise of chicken cooked with wine. How could you go wrong there?
Sounds good to me.
Lardons, which is salt pork, mushrooms, and garlic. I don't know about that. I like the idea. Boy, you can never go wrong when you're looking at a nice dish like that. If you want, I'll share the picture a little bit later on in the day. Checking the markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 414 points. Ow! Painful. Oil down $1.61 a barrel. Do you think that means that we're going to get any savings on gas prices here in the state of confusion? Yeah, I probably doubt that one too. They don't like lowering prices. They go up much quicker than they do go down. But we'll continue to watch, see what's going on here, and see if I can get this to wake up on my computer. National average, $2.96.8 per gallon. $2.96.8. It's always easy for me to find out what the price is in the state of confusion because I look at the national retail prices and I just look at the area where it says what is the highest price in the entire country. In Taxofornia, we always lead that area, $3.73.6.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yep. And it's about $1.10 a gallon more than the lowest price places. I don't know if Hawaii is going to be lowest price today, but sometimes it's always less than it is here in the state of confusion. But we're looking at South Carolina. If you need gas, South Carolina is the place to go.
That's a long way to go to get a tank of gas.
But you could go there. I mean, it wouldn't have a problem with your car.
With my car, I'd be fine. I really don't care about gas prices a whole heck of a lot.
Oh, thanks a lot.
What a big idea.
Yeah, unbelievable. Figures that you're out there laughing at the rest of us. Let's continue moving right along, watching the markets. What else is going on? U.S. 10-year Treasury. Well, if you're looking to get to refinance, I have to be careful because I got put in, my hands were slapped last week by Facebook. They told me that I was being abusive when I suggested to people that they might want to refinance to get rid of their credit card debt. So now with mortgage rates dropping today, don't let me tell you that it might be something wise for you to consider because Facebook might get mad at me once again for telling you that might be a good idea for you to look at it, figure out what your blended household interest rate is. Blended household interest rate could be a good idea for you to know. Facebook doesn't want you to know that. I don't know why. Maybe when Mr. Zuckerberg's in Congress one of these times, we can chat about that a little bit. Unbelievable. Another thing that they're not going to want me to tell you about, so you didn't hear it here first, because nobody else is going to say this, but in Oklahoma, they almost had to deal with another massacre involving a gun. This was last week. I wasn't on over the holidays, so I'll share this with you. Thursday night, an armed citizen took down a gunman who entered a restaurant and began shooting. Now, I'm not going to tell you that, the first good guy with a gun takes out the bad guys with a gun. I'm not going to tell you that because Facebook may not like that one either. And if you're a coffee drinker or an iced tea drinker like I am, please be sure that you go to Starbucks before they close at noon today or 2 o'clock or whatever the time is. Another one of those interesting media stunts. How much publicity? Now, Starbucks says it's going to cost them $12 million for closing early today. $12 million. How much publicity have they got by closing early today? Do you think it's more than $12 million? I'm just going to ask the question. You can make the decisions for yourself. I'm just here to share the information with you. There's not one news channel, not one news story that comes up that doesn't talk about Starbucks closing early. They can't pay for that much that much advertising. They couldn't afford it. No way in the world. And what are the people at Starbucks going to be doing for this? Have you caught this part? Because this is fascinating to me because, they probably don't have any method of doing this other than closing 7,000 stores. They're going to be watching videos. Now, you're probably watching videos, some of you right now, ronsiegelradio.tv. You may be watching our broadcast on video, and they didn't have to close Starbucks for that. Maybe they will. Yeah, that's just a thought there. But think about that concept. They're closing 7,000 stores, $12 million in sales, all so that they can go through diversity training, and they're going to do this diversity training by watching videos. That could be done anytime. Now, I don't know about the Starbucks you go to. I go to a lot of Starbucks. Obviously, you've seen my size, right? So, I get on that gold plan by Wednesday or something like that. I think you need 30 stars or whatever. I can go and buy the whole restaurant drinks off of just the accumulated stars that I have right now. Not that I'm bragging or anything. It's probably
a little low, Ron. Maybe we better.
And they'll even be opened after we get off air, so we can go across there. Now, the Starbucks that I go to, and I probably go to about 8 different Starbucks stores. I have every single one of them. They've got a uniform at Starbucks. Have you ever noticed the Starbucks uniform? They wear a black shirt, usually black pants, and a cell phone sticking out of your back right pocket.
What are you wearing, Ron?
Gray pants, beige pants.
Well, I don't know. You got your black shirt on.
Black shirt. I can go work for Starbucks today while they're closed.
Another gig going.
Exactly. But see, they've all got the cell phone sticking out of their back right pocket. Every one of them. Wonder if they could watch that training right there on their cell phones and not close the store. But then they wouldn't get all that publicity. They wouldn't get all that money. That's just my sense. Starbucks is a smart company. I'm not saying it's not wise. I mean, I've had people tell me many, many times, all publicity is good publicity. I had a friend of mine that got sued by Barnum and Bailey one time. Busiest days he ever had at his store was right after they sued him. Just a thought for you. Now, I'm not saying go out and do something wrong to get sued, but, it's just the way of the world. Lisa's over here cracking up at me.
Just thinking what kind of trouble we could cause to get sued.
Wait, what kind of trouble we could cause?
That we haven't caused already.
But we'll get to it.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to definitely get to it. There's no way I can have Lisa in studio for a full hour and not cause some sort of trouble. It just does not work that way. Now, here's another one. The Supreme Court. Now, this is an older story. So, a couple weeks ago, the Supreme Court ruled that employers can block collective claims from workers who file complaints together. This was a deciding factor came from Justice Neil Gorsuch. Employers can now enforce the arbitration clauses. Think about that, meaning they can require employees to resolve disputes individually or out of court through a third-party arbiter. Estimated 25 million employees currently have contracts that prohibit them from filing collective action suits. Just amazing how people don't care what the contract says. All they care about is following well, there's certain lawyers that we all know about that are out there that that's all they care about is just getting the next case to court. Amazing. Speaking of court and next case, I was looking at some notes, and obviously those of you that watch me know that I am a simple guy, so I have no clue where we're going to head with this today. But one of the notes that I saw that came across, we're going to put Lisa Dunn on the spot because I don't have to worry about it. She is the expert here.
I don't know about that.
The 50th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act. Is it working? We're going to find out from Lisa about that. Reasons why to sell this summer. Yeah, I should tell you that you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio.
You're all choked up.
Yeah, all choked up about the Fair Housing Act. Maybe I can get a little picture on our broadcast down there, please, guys. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets when we come back. 50th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act. 5 reasons to sell this summer. What you should do if you miss a housing payment. And the gift tax limit for 2018, how much can you give? Hey, and I'll give you my address. You can send it whenever you're ready. Not a problem there.
Split it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'm just looking at the headlines on Market Watch right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 430 points. George Soros says Europe's existence is threatened by 3 crises. I wonder if maybe one of them is named George Soros. That would just be my personal opinion. And, being that it's my show, I give my opinion all the time. A little background noise here, guys. I don't know where that's coming from either. Holy, kind of weird stuff going on. It's it's a long weekend. Watch what's going on. Well, we'll just get back onto it. Okay, so we got Dow down 433 points. We're looking at some good stuff on the markets, though. The 10-year Treasury, if you're a senior looking to retire, you're not going to be too excited by this because the 10-year Treasury is down 8 basis points. 2.80 is the number, is the interest rate there. Notice I said interest rate because if you're looking at the Fannie Mae 30-year bond, that one's up 42 basis points. We should get some applause for that one. Yeah. Because if you're looking to lock a loan, today might be a good day to do it. I don't know what the rest of the week's going to look like, but that bond at up 42 basis points means that interest rates are down today. And, I talked to you a little bit about this, that we've got the support level at 101.94, and we're at 102.33. You don't have to understand what all the numbers mean, but just know that that's the support is on the bottom, resistance is on the top. We want the bonds to go as high as we can if you want mortgage rates to go down. But generally, if they go down too much, that means the economy's not doing well. We don't want that either. So we've got that resistance level at 102.48. So we've got about 14 more basis points we can go up until we see if we're going to hit the resistance right there. And that'll probably indicate that we would start probably testing that or heading south again. But what's going on to cause all of this? That's the whole issue. Well, looking at some of the geopolitical turmoil back in focus, weighing on U.S. stocks, causing a bit of a flight to quality. That's what helps the mortgage bonds when we see that flight to quality. Italy and Spain sent the euro falling to its lowest level against the dollar in 2018. Over the weekend, Italy's prime minister appointed former International Monetary Fund official Carlo Cottarelli as interim prime minister to form a new government and restore political order within the country. The failure to form a new government is causing fear globally. European worries extended to Spain, where the country's parliament is set to vote whether to oust Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy and his center-right party. I wonder if there's any relation there to Maxine Waters on Looney Max. It's a very busy week, though. The jobs data, Fed's favored measure of inflation, PCE, and pending home sales, all coming out this week. So it's going to be a busy day. Friday is going to be the big one where the Bureau of Labor Statistics employment rate comes out. Case-Shiller Home Price Index tracks the changes in the value of residential real estate across the U.S. The report showed that home price appreciation continued to accelerate. Does that surprise anybody? Continue to accelerate? National Index, which covers all 9 U.S. Census divisions, reported a 6.5% annual gain in March, which was even stronger than the last reading of 6.3%. The 20-city index showed that home prices rose at a 6.8% year-over-year basis. Now, you have to understand these numbers, and some of the real estate professionals, actually Lisa will tell us about this. When it says 6.8%, that doesn't mean that, if you bought your house last week and just raised the price 6.8% and call Lisa to sell it today.
Lisa won't do that.
Doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Strongest gains are in Seattle, Las Vegas, and San Francisco. So that's fascinating.
Las Vegas, that's an interesting one.
Well, when their numbers are down so bad, there's only one way to go on that is up, right? But
true.
Seattle, I don't know, Amazon might not be moving in there, so there may be some extra properties in there. Let's see if there's any place here. Los Angeles, think about this, the monthly change for Los Angeles up 0.9%, 8.1% year over year. San Diego up 1%, 7.7% year over year. That's pretty good stuff right there. I had somebody tell me over the weekend that their clientele doesn't think California real estate is a good investment. I asked them what planet they're on and if they were in the tunnel that Elon Musk is making. I don't know, it didn't go over too well. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. Just fun stuff. So, Lisa.
Yes, Ron.
I always bring you in to have some fun with us here and always to share some great information that you bring back. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk to you even anymore.
Why?
I mean, spending all this time in Sacramento and Washington, D.C.
And sold a couple of houses while I was there. Thank you very much.
And then come back to talk to peons that have little radio stations here in Southern California.
Just another peon in the chair?
Okay, so what's going on in all these places?
Oh my gosh, what's going on? Well, let's see. This May always means lobbying month for the realtor associations, whether it be state or national.
Why is May the month?
I don't know. They just don't want us to be around. I don't understand it. But
okay.
We do a week in Sacramento, and then we do a week in Washington, D.C., with a week in between. And we go and talk to our elected officials that represent the homeowners here as to legislation that's out there, things that they need to do to protect homeowners' rights and keep all of us realtors doing our thing as well. So, we are the advocate for the homeowner. They don't really have anybody else talking for them out there, so we got to take care of them.
Okay, so is there anything new coming out? I mean, I talked about the 50th anniversary. We'll get into that one later on.
That's true. Let's see. Some of the new stuff, some of the stuff we were working on is, the SALT deduction for the taxes, how it's...
State and area local tax deduction.
Thank you, Ron. That right now it's $10,000 whether you're single or you're married. It's the same no matter what. So we were asking Congress to change that to $10,000 single and $20,000 for married couples, so there wouldn't be a marriage penalty for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Also, we were urging them...
Kind of interesting that they didn't do that initially, because when they did the standard deduction, I mean, basically very few people are going to end up getting into using those deductions anyway.
Yeah, but the families that are out there that are in the higher tax areas or whatever, they can benefit from this more than, because most single people aren't going to be living in really high tax area. Well, maybe they will, but the odds are a married couple is going to be, out in, let's say, in Orange County here. The tax rate can be pretty hefty in some properties.
Well, California is pretty hefty everywhere.
True that.
But we did notice, and I didn't want to bring this up, but I will.
Go ahead.
That we did notice the high price or high tax states. Numbers came out this morning, and California, New Jersey, Connecticut have record revenues already in the bank since the tax cuts took place. Just saying, this is Southern California. But what's interesting though was getting to, Lisa, is that they gave us the $12,500 standard deduction for individuals and $24,000 and change for married couples. But that SALT deduction they kept as a flat number.
That's true. So us realtors are trying to change that.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What else is going on good?
Well, let's see. We also told them to put pressure on HUD to name an FHA undersecretary, I think
Undersecretary?
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going without notes. I'm flying blind here.
Okay.
So, and actually they did. They confirmed one last week. So they had passed a law back in 2016. It was lovely HR 3700, something about modernization of housing, and that had a lot of details in it regarding FHA condo project approvals. That's an area near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the things that were in the bill were reducing the owner occupancy rate from 50% down to 35% for everything, not just the exception that they have in place now, and making the recertification time limits, instead of every 2 years, which it is currently, somewhere between 3 to 5 years. Now, this was actually signed into law in 2016. Everything that you know about, how a bill becomes a law from Schoolhouse Rock. Well,
absolutely.
They kind of stopped.
Can you sing that for us?
No.
Okay.
Well, we can kind of dance around, but that's about it. They kind of left off, well, what happens after it gets signed into law? Well, most laws turn into laws. Well, this one HUD had a review period, and I want to say it was 60 or 90 days, that they could say, well, we see this provision about the 35% homeownership rate. Do we think that's reasonable or not? We'll let you know. Same with the recertification time period. A lot of other things regarding multi-purpose type homes, where you have condos on top of businesses and such, but we won't get into that. But they never gave us anything definitive. And this was 2 years ago.
Well, and that's surprising. They went on vacation for half the time.
Well, that, and they didn't have anybody kind of working at HUD either. They have a whole lot of empty desks there. And so 2 years later, they finally named an under secretary. So now that FHA has somebody at the helm, how many months later, years later, now we can start seeing what's going to happen with this law. Maybe we can get some of those condos down to 35% owner occupancy rate, which would be fantastic, because then a lot of the places that got hit during the recession really hard, that investors swooped in and bought all the properties, well, now people want to buy homes, but there's nothing for them to buy, and mainly like the Inland Empire area out here really got impacted by this. So now people would be able to go in. Somebody using an FHA loan could go in and buy a condo in a complex that they wouldn't be able to have purchased one in before.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, but then again, you're dealing with the government, so logic doesn't really play too big a part when you're dealing with them.
Logic, no, they don't go together.
Kind of crazy. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Might let Lisa off the hot seat for about 4 or 5 more minutes until we come back and see what else they might be doing. 2 weeks down to 8 minutes. We'll see what we can figure out here. We'll also chat a little bit. We got what else do we have on the docket? I guess I should have looked at that before I started going to break, right?
Who knows what we're going to talk about, Ron?
We never know what we're going to talk about when Lisa's in the house with me. Reasons why to sell your house this summer. And what should you do if you miss a bill payment? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. I think we're still having some technical issues here, guys.
The lending team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, look who's checking in from Mitchell's checking in there. Good morning, Mitchell. Good morning, Elizabeth. Cindy, glad to see you there. I guess my mouse is not moving well, so I can't say more hellos. Chris Bissonette is with us this morning. Byron, glad to see you there. Moises, good to see you. Deidre, Arn, Steve, Richard. Judy's on there with us. Coach Bruce is there. Mark, Linda, good to see you all with us this morning. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. No commercials on there with the guys at Nest. Reasons to sell this summer. Number one, I'm going to give you 5 of them. And then we'll see what I might be doing wrong here. We'll ask Lisa Dunn. Number one, demand is strong. The latest buyer traffic report from the National Association of Realtors. I love it when people call me in the middle of a broadcast, and I can't even turn the bloody thing off. You gotta love Gmail or Google Voice. Shut them up.
Want me to take that call, Ron?
Yeah, would you take that call for me, Lisa?
I am an operator standing by.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. Buyers are ready, willing, and able to purchase and are in the market right now. More often than not, multiple buyers are competing with each other to buy the same home. Take advantage of the buyer activity currently in the marketplace. Number 2, there's less competition now. Housing inventory has declined year over year for the last 35 months and is still under the 6-month supply needed for a normal market. I don't know what normal is anymore. This means that in the majority of the country, there are not enough homes for sale to satisfy the number of buyers in the market. Good news for homeowners who have gained equity as their home values have increased. However, additional inventory could be coming to the market soon. Historically, the average number of years a homeowner stayed in his or her home was 6. But that number has hovered between 9 and 10 since 2011. There is a pent-up desire for many homeowners to move as they were unable to sell over the last few years because of a negative equity situation. As home values continue to appreciate, more and more homeowners will be given the freedom to move. Choices buyers have will continue to increase. Don't wait until this other inventory comes to market before you decide to sell. I don't know about this one. The process will be quicker. Today's competitive environment has forced buyers to do all they can to stand out from the crowd, including getting pre-approved. Now, you know, if you're a Ron Siegel Radio regular, we don't care about pre-approvals. We care about the fast pass loan approval. That way you can compete with the cash offers. This makes the entire selling process much faster and much simpler as buyers know exactly what they can afford before home shopping. According to Ellie Mae's latest Origination Insights report, the average time it took to close a loan was 41 days. There will never be a better time to move up if your next move will be into a premium or luxury home. Now is the time to move up. The inventory of homes for sale at these higher price ranges has forced these markets into a buyer's market. Now remember, the reports I tell you about almost all deal with national numbers, so we're not always looking hyper-local. That's why we have experts in to talk about the local market.
That's why I'm over here shaking my head.
I thought I heard something different. Prices are projected to appreciate by 5.2% over the next year, according to CoreLogic. If you're moving to a higher-priced home, it will wind up costing you more in raw dollars, both in down payment and mortgage payment, if you wait. Number 5, it's time to move on with your life. Look at the reason you decided to sell in the first place and determine whether it is worth waiting. Is money more important than being with family?
Depends on the family.
I'm looking for my Jeopardy music right there for that one, right? Is money more important than your health? Is money more important than having the freedom to go on with your life the way you think you should? Only you know the answers to these questions. You have the power to take control of the situation by putting your home on the market. Perhaps the time has come for you and your family to move on and start the life you desire. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that are looking at these things are saying that would be in Arizona or Texas. I'm just throwing that out there.
They can go. I'll sell their house.
There you go. But then that means there's going to be. You need them to move to another new house in the area. Otherwise, prices will start dropping because we won't have the demand.
No, trust me. There's plenty of people that want to be in California.
That's
Many people.
right. They're stopping them at the border every day. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST to 79564. Get your free information text to you. It's really quick. They're one of the best I've seen out there getting the information to you. So we're talking to Lisa Dunn this morning. She's one of the famous people, the important people that comes in to chat with us.
No.
Sacramento, D.C. She's on that whirlwind trips.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to do it.
Exactly. So we learned a little bit about FHA last week. We learned a little bit about probably the Senate finally doing their job and confirming an undersecretary.
I think they're scared of all those realtors that came to visit them.
They should be.
We had realtors.
I know what realtors can do.
Yeah, that's true. You have firsthand experience.
Exactly.
Well, because we did have realtors from all over the country visiting all of the Congress people and all of the senators, all of us with the same message. So, I think maybe they might have got it.
So last time you were on, and I've talked with some of the folks over at Pacific West Realtors, they're talking about this measure about, was it Prop 60 and 90, and taking that, to expanding it.
Oh, you mean
right, being able to for the seniors.
The tax initiative, the
right.
California. It's
California tax
yes.
initiative. Any updates on that? Or are they still working on it?
I think we got the signature count in that we have enough valid signatures to make the November ballot.
Okay, good.
I think that there's still.
So let's explain a little bit of what that one is.
Well, what it is we were talking earlier about the inventory situation
right.
like you were just mentioning on the housing minute or mortgage minute or whatever minute that was.
Real-time real estate.
That's real-time real estate minute. Sorry.
Tell that she only comes on once a month and they can't even get it on the segments.
I know. Well, and people just aren't.
Yeah, that's my point. Is it's just a little show that no one listens to.
Oh.
I have 7 listeners, and I know that it was only 6.
Well, now we're down to 3, but that's okay. No, it's people aren't moving.
Right.
The 10 years up, people aren't moving, and it's really kind of like, why should they?
Sure.
I mean, honestly, as a realtor, I question why should somebody move. And one of the things for seniors is you've got your tax rates pretty much locked in. The one good thing about California is we do have Proposition 13, and that keeps your tax rate, more or less, 1% of the assessed value. But if you move, you only get to take your tax base with you within your county one time as a senior. And if you want to leave the county, like a lot of people want to get out of Orange County and maybe go up north because they have kids living, let's say, in
Sure.
the Central Valley or something like that, there's only 12 counties that you can currently take your tax bases to using Prop 60 and 90. The initiative that the California Realtors was championing was to let seniors take their tax base with them wherever they want, however many times they want, and they can buy up and they can buy down, whereas right now with Prop 60 and Prop 90, you can only use it one time and it has to be a downsize.
Which is a interesting situation. Now, they talk about seniors there because, and I don't know how this works out, but they define seniors as over 55.
Yeah, I think we're in trouble, Ron.
Yeah, and
Maybe it affects you, not me.
Exactly.
Yeah, just if you believe that. Okay.
We'll go with it, Lisa.
Yeah, doesn't affect either of us. Okay.
So, but we're talking about you can be in retirement in that range 30 years.
Exactly.
So
with everybody living longer, it's like what seems to be a good idea for a move right now may not be the perfect long-term move for you. We have a lot of communities that are being built out in this area that are including a senior component, and these are not little teeny-weeny cheap places. These are some pretty nice $900,000, $800,000 new homes that are being built for the senior community. And you can't take your tax bases with you if you're buying up currently. And there's a lot of people that would like to buy into these neighborhoods that really won't do it because of the tax ramifications at the moment. If this initiative passes, then they could buy up. It's a blended tax rate, and that's getting into way more math than I want to get into right now, but it does allow people to move up. And then let's say you buy one of these 2,000 square foot, new properties, and then down the road you're like, oh, but my grandkids are in Fresno, because it's amazing where you will move where your grandkids are.
Fresno?
I'm just throwing that out there. Not that I would be moving to Fresno. Well, I don't have any grandkids, so. But anyhow, that
she knows of.
Yeah. So that would allow you to be able to make that move out there, and then once you realize, oh my God, I moved to Fresno, what did I do? You can come back to wherever it was you moved.
Reality.
Yeah, into a house, maybe bigger, maybe smaller. So it just gives people the flexibility that they need in their lifetime.
There's a lot of options out there. I've been a champion, and we'll talk about this and get Lisa's opinion when we come back.
I've been a champion.
How about, if you remember, 2010, I think it was, we had the tax credit for buyers.
That was crazy.
What if we do that again, but do it for sellers? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we'll also talk about what you should do if you miss a bill payment. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned, we'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investment? Is your credit score over over 800. If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
That is 1-800.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
You gotta love live radio, don't you? Where you never know what's going on, but hey, at least when you've been doing this as long as I've been doing it, at least you're ready for almost anything that can possibly happen. And when Lisa's with me, we know that almost anything can possibly happen. Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. What you should do if you miss a bill payment. Hey, just forget about it. Try it next time, and then just get back on. No, that's not the right answer. Failing to pay a monthly bill on time can have major consequences. Some companies will slap you with late fees, higher interest rates, and other penalties when you miss a due date. If you neglect a bill for too long, it could show up as a late payment on your credit report and hurt your score. And if you never pay, debt collectors or court judgments could be in your future. Most of these scenarios can be avoided if you act quickly. Here's what you should do if you miss a monthly payment. Obviously, you have not been listening to Ron Siegel Radio because I share with you all the time. Most of your payments, especially credit cards, revolving debt, set them up on an auto pay. Right? If you set up that auto pay for all your credit card bills right before the payment due date, minimum payment. I'm not saying set it as a huge amount. Set a minimum payment to go in there on a regular basis. So if your payments are due on the 1st, make sure there's a payment that arrives on the 29th every single month. Make it nice and simple. That way you don't have to worry about it. Then you can make those regular payments the right way, as I have shared with you in the past. Whether it's a credit card, utility, or loan, the best way to deal with a missed payment is to call the company once you realize your error. The sooner you pick up the phone, the sooner you can make the things right. And you may even be able to avoid penalties or damage to your credit score. You should contact the company, take responsibility for your mistake, and express your willingness to pay and then beg. Just a thought. If you haven't missed a payment, you can ask them for a good faith waiver, or they might help you out if you've got a legitimate situation. There are lots of different issues in there. Number 2, make the payment. If you have the money, you should pay your late bill immediately. Once they're 30 days late, missed payments can start affecting your credit. The damage to your credit further increases as a late payment hits the 60 and 90-day marks. At 120, they could be charged off or sold to a debt collector, which will lower your credit scores even more. In short, paying your bill can eliminate or minimize further damage. Work out an alternative if you can't afford the payment now. You may be able to negotiate an alternative solution like a payment plan or an extension. Many lenders and service providers would rather negotiate a solution than walk away with nothing. Ask for waived penalties. We talked about that one a little bit. And as always, set up those automatic payments. And don't forget to check your credit score on a regular basis because your credit report is wrong. I've told you that before. Every one of them are wrong. I've never seen one that's accurate. I've been doing this a long time. No comments from the peanut gallery.
I'm not saying anything.
Right, but I've never seen a completely accurate credit report. I've seen all kinds of scores, but never completely accurate. So what makes you think that yours is totally accurate? Just a thought there for you. That's the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. So we are chatting this morning. Lisa Dunn is with us, chatting about what's been going on in D.C., Sacramento. It's kind of fascinating that you actually went to D.C., and there were actually legislatures working then?
Actually, there was.
So were you there 2 days?
I was actually there for a week, but we only did 1 day of Capitol Hill visits. We did have...
So they weren't there any more than that.
Well, yeah, pretty much. We had to catch one in a tunnel, but it all works. It all works. But one of the other things we talked about was the Fair Housing. It's the 50th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act, and one of the points that we were championing... I can't talk. I need more coffee. I hope Starbucks is open.
Still got a couple hours.
That's right. Is that there's many protected classes. However, there is one class that is not protected federally. It is by the state of California and many other states, but federally, the LGBTIQ community, I hope I didn't leave a letter out, is not a protected class.
LGBTIQ?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard the I in there before, but that's...
Identity. What gender you identify with. That could be a whole other show, Ron, but we won't go there today.
Unbelievable. Look down, you can identify your gender that way.
Some people are a little confused, but
Yeah, exactly.
they should still be able to, buy a home and not be discriminated on. They should be able to rent a home without discrimination. So
The question is, should it be a federal issue or should it be a state issue?
Well, it already is state protected in California, and I want to say 19 other states, but let's say you are a gay couple married in the state of California, and you wanted to go buy a home in one of the non-protected states, you could be discriminated upon there. So, it's just making the playing field equal across the country. I'm really having a hard time. You got me all shook up today.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. But, it's just kind of the right thing to do. It's in this day and age. And so we have contacted Congress people. We did receive pushback from one that has made national news. Our little group go check out CNN and the Washington Post regarding a certain congressman from the Huntington Beach area. And you know what? I'm proud of us as realtors for what we accomplished with that situation. And that's about all I can say about that.
It's a fascinating discussion because I'm one that says, I could probably get myself in serious trouble, which I generally do. But the issue to me is, let the states deal with it. Why is it a federal issue? And, if Texas wants it and California doesn't or vice versa, that's for their citizens to deal with. And it's also for the rest of us to say, something. I was one on a different subject. Like last week, I was promoting Publix, right? The young man from Florida who's championing gun rights that doesn't know what he's talking about, in my opinion, right? If there was a Publix here, I'd be buying everything at Publix just because this kid doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Butt out in some instance. Get the government out of our business. If we don't want to, have guns, we don't have guns. If we don't want to...
Well, it's one of those things is you never know.
Right.
You don't know who's who and who's what and who you could possibly be discriminating against. And really,
there's no good reason for discrimination.
There's no good reason for discrimination of any sort. And this particular congressperson had also mentioned, if I don't agree with you politically, I shouldn't have to sell my house to you. And it's like, what the heck is that? I mean, it's very misguided. Thank gosh, most of the Congress people were. I think this was the only person that got gave any pushback at all from all of the
Lots of
visits.
publicity, though.
Roswell is not necessarily good. He lost NAR funding, so.
But I did notice on Real Clear Politics he was still leading in his district, so it's kind of surprising to me.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, it is fascinating to me, and the Fair Housing Act is something I think that should be championed, right? I mean,
yeah, and we just want people to be able to buy a home. It doesn't matter what your race is, your nationality. If
you can afford it, you should be able to buy it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you love, what you think. I mean, it's just you should be able to buy whatever home or be able to rent. And the discrimination in the rental field is much, much worse than in the housing purchase area. So there's still a long way to go. It's amazing how far we have gone in 50 years. There was one day I had gotten some CC&Rs for a home that was built in 1947, which I didn't know they had CC&Rs for homes built in 1947.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I opened it up, and it said, sorry, we will only sell homes to Caucasians. We will not sell homes to, and they proceeded to list off the races. And unfortunately, my client was one of those that they weren't supposed to be able to buy a home in that neighborhood. But those CC&Rs are basically not valid because they are against the law at this point. But it's amazing that is the history that we have.
Well, something that goes back again. There's a lot of things that we learn over time.
Yeah.
Right? And, I don't think any of us would say that our history has been perfect.
No, it's
right?
just
And
realizing that we have that history. And even the realtors in our National Code of Ethics, we were cool with discrimination back in the day. But now we have, we changed that quite some time ago, but we're championing the rights of all to be able to live where they wish and be able to procure a home wherever they'd like. So
great information as always. We always appreciate when Lisa comes in and gets us these updates. And we always ask you to set your first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. We made John work pretty serious today with all of our technical fun.
You're still having technical fun.
I'm still having technical fun with all of this stuff. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Again, a big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.